And we live. Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. It's not gonna happen, but that's all right. We'll live to fight another day. Joining me is my co-host, Mrs. Beth. Y'all say what's up to her.
I greet you all with a thug life. I encourage you all to please like, share, and subscribe. And hey, y'all, I'm happy to be here.
Yes, and while you're subscribing to me, please subscribe to Mrs. Best. Any reviews or recaps that we do not cover on my channel, it's because we cover on her channel. So we have Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So far, we're at the reunion. We have Love and Hip Hop, both Miami and Atlanta, which is hot messes. And just Sunday, we did Never Ever Mets, which we did season 1 of. Now they're back for season 2, and we are having a grand old time because it is definitely working on nerves. Some show updates that I have coming. You guys know Love and Marriage Detroit will be back next weekend. So I will be covering that. And also a new show called Somebody's Son. You guys know I do not like the concept of that
You
show.
got the name right, though. Congrats.
Thank you, friend. You know, I don't like the concept of that show. I think it's ridiculous. I think that is the most insane concept. So you guys know I have to recap it. I'm not gonna be nice. I understand these is people's mamas. But at the end of the day, I don't like that concept. I want to say what's up to Shani. She was here first. She always is. I want to thank you for being here, my love bug. Thank you so much for joining us. I got Dr. Jim Bunny in the house. Hey, hey, hey. I'm
The
glad you made it
doctor.
live. We got to put respect on her name, Doctor, which I will be joining you soon, love. I promise. Mel NYC Reviews is here. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Um,
Does Mel NYC reviews? Mel, do you do reviews? Because I'm hella slow. And if you do, I want to watch them.
I feel like I've watched Mel NYC Reviews. I feel like you were one of the persons on my list that I just watched.
Child, I can't keep up. I watch so many damn YouTubers. So
Thank you,
many.
my love. I appreciate you. I do too. I have like a long laundry list of ones that I watch that I enjoy and that I comment on. I'm like, y'all are so good. So, but Mel NYC Reviews, you do review, right? I feel like I don't have my phone close by, but I feel like I've watched you, and I could be wrong. But either way, subscribe. We're gonna just put that out there. Subscribe to Mel too. But let me go ahead and let's get into this very insane, very crazy episode. Because I put in my caption, Kenya took it too far with a question mark, because that's going to be the discussion today. Did Kenya take it too far? But before we get there, let's go ahead and describe the episode. So the episode actually opens up with Shamia. She has Angela and Brittany over to, talk about what happened with Kenya because Shamia was in the car with Portia and Kenya, getting Kenya's side of the story. So she wanted to get Britt's side of the story. Hi, Shana. Thank you for being here. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Shana underscore MCD. She has 2 links in my description box, her current channel and also her new channel. So make sure you guys are subscribed to both channels. We wanted her to get monetized. I will have Shana on my channel soon so we can talk about where she is with that to get the latest update. Love you, Shana. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. Kenya disappointed at her event, but she should have got brisket together another time. I definitely agree. That was not the moment, Kenya. It just was not. So overall, Shamia has Angela and Britt over, and they're talking about, what happened, the situation with Kenya. Shamia tells them that, in the car with Portia and Kenya, they were talking about Kenya hearing that Britt had a pistol and some whips and everything. And she was saying, Britt was like, no, that's not what I meant. I did not mean to take it that far. I did not mean to say things. I was just in the heat of the moment. We learned that Angela was the one who originally wrote the question. So when Angela let out the bag, she wrote the question. So Shamia said, well, Angela, do you feel that way too, that Kenya is slighting Britt? And she goes, well, I understand where Britt is coming from because I was there and it was something that I did notice. And when Britt brought it to me, it kind of confirmed my initial feeling. So I wrote the question, just to see how Kenya would respond. And, and then we also learned that the event coordinators of that establishment had a problem with Angela because they didn't want it to turn into all of that, when, they're promoting the business and everything. And I could understand that too. So Shamia was like, it wasn't a good look. I really think that you owe Kenya an apology. I think you need to talk with her and try to smooth things over with her in the best way that you can, because that's not going to, handle well. Because Kenya is known to get her get back. So you better be prepared for that. And I thought that that was a fair assessment. And I like, and I'm not saying this because I'm biased towards Shamia. Y'all don't be putting that in the comments. I like how Shamia is moving this season. She's really going around getting both sides of the story, hearing both people out before she makes an informed decision. I think that that is a very fair thing. I don't think she does it with Portia all the way, but I feel like it's coming at some point. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about the opening scene of Shania?
I like how she moves as it relates to handling drama because that's what you should do is hear the whole story before just making an assumption or jumping to a conclusion. So I do like that she does that. However, Shamia is boring as hell and a dud as a housewife. Aside from her money, which we know came from her man, and I love Shamia, but like, what are you bringing? Now, she could play the peacemaker and peacekeeper, but I need to see more from Shamia this season. Um, because right now I'm just like, okay, you're here, but maybe you do better as a friend of. But she's got the money, she's got the husband, she has the authentic story. But we haven't seen, like, she's sharing a lot, but she's also not given enough. But I feel like she also gives classic housewives, like without all the, like this new cast right now, no shade, they are ratchet. There's a difference between a fine black woman and just a ratchet, okay? And no shade, but especially the way like Britt behaves, Kelly moves, and just newbies in general, they come in giving love and hip hop energy, and I need them to act like they are actually wives. That's just my opinion. She definitely needs a stylist. But the whole scene, I'm just looking like everybody's so focused on the big, blow up with Kenya and Britt from this show because we already know what's going to happen. So everyone is overlooking Angela's messy ass. Just because you feel like your friend is wronged, who told you in that nose, Miss Piggy, to write that question and put that shit into the box at a dinner? Especially a dinner where everybody's making peace. You fixed you in your nose to sniffle up the question and wrote it on a pen. Like, I just don't understand it. And if Kenya didn't do what she did, and if Britt didn't act up just a complete fool all the time, going 0 to 700, then everybody would be paying attention to the fact that Angela is awful. And not just as a friend. In my opinion, she's a questionable mama. She's questionable in her decisions by keeping that nose job, and questionable as hell to be with a man who act like he do on television. So that's what I have to say about that.
That's a very astute observation because y'all, if Angela hadn't have did that, I don't think we would have had all of this in this episode or the previous episode. I feel like, yeah, we are kind of overlooking Angela a little bit because she's sitting up there stirring up the mess, and then over there like confessing to it after the damage has been done. And it's like, no, man, we need you to be accountable, because why would you think that would be okay? Even if you felt like Kenya was being messy and like or being slighted towards Brit, why do you think that it was okay for you to write that on a piece of paper and then have Brit read it to Kenya, knowing that it's going to be perceived some kind of way? Because do y'all really think that Kenya was going to sit there and really say, oh, well, you know what, Brit, I didn't mean to slight you. That's not what I. No, Kenya was gonna take
Why
that.
does Nicki Minaj's understudy and Miss Piggy in black version with a good wig? Why do they have to gang up on Kenya? That's the thing. Like, if you watch this show, which these heifers clearly did, then y'all know that you should not come for Kenya unless she sends for you, and she did not send for y'all. It looks like they just want to come for the most popular person on the show. Because as quiet as it kept, Kenya is the reason the show probably even got renewed.
Mm-hmm. She's
Not
too
Timu
not
Minaj.
Team
Naya,
Minaj.
you
Wait a
will
minute. I
time
was not.
out.
I was not ready. Naya, I was not ready.
Ooh, Naya
That
said
took
she's
me out.
Timu
Wait a minute.
Minaj.
Okay, Naya, stop. You on time out. Damn. I can't even get through this episode now. I'm looking at that comment just thinking, yeah, because she is. I said she looked like Nicki Minaj to me. She do. And I'm just like, why? Like, lady, come on. Like, I can't take you serious. But we move on. We have a scene with Kenya and Portia, which I love. I hate that these two are back at odds again because they were really giving me like definitely sister vibes this whole first part of this season. So I love this dynamic. They're laughing it up, talking it up. Basically, King is giving her, what they're doing today, which is looking at models for her Kenya Moore hair salon, whatever shit was, event. She's having hair models walk in the event, so they're here to judge them. She also invites Kelly, and they begin. Look at the models. Models were absolutely stunning and beautiful, and it reminded me, which was funny when Cynthia came in the episode. Cynthia was bringing up the Bailey agency and how Kenya was going crazy, and that was the first thought I had watching the scene with her, Portia, and Kelly. It was reminded me of Coochie Crack and everything that she was saying, and I was just like, oh my god, like how we come full circle with this season, with this whole Real Housewives of Atlanta franchise. Like that was a good moment. But I loved, everything. So they began talking about Brit after, the modeling, everything goes around. And Kelly was really defending Brit. Kelly was like, look, that's not who she is. She is the sweetest girl. Kenya not trying to hear all that. Kenya's like, no, I know what I'm looking at. That girl ain't nothing nice, ain't nothing cool about her. I see her for what she is, and she about to get exposed. And I'm like, ooh, Kenya, okay. I didn't know we would take it this far. I would just say I'm not going to associate myself with her. I'm good because she's taking a little bit of moment and just running amok with it. Because I talked about a ring that I was confused about because she didn't have a wedding band. All she had was an engagement ring. So that's what was my impression of it. And I told y'all, to Kenya's defense, most people think like that. Most people think if they see only one ring, which is the engagement ring, they're going to assume you're not married. Like it's not that uncommon to make that assumption. And I do think Brit took that too far. It took that way too personal. I just do. And that's just my opinion. So I felt like Kelly realistically didn't take it in that same way. And that's because she was defending her friend. But at the same time, there's a way you can defend your friend, but at the same time, not, invalidating Kenya's feelings because it was over nothing. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that scene?
Here's the thing. When you go to the jewelry store, whether you have been married or not, the rings are quite literally sold and separated by sets, engagement, band. Therefore, one would assume, as a person who is married, Ms. Britt, that you would know that. So this is why I don't like Brit. And even my husband peeped it when walking nearby watching the show with me. Brit, like down to her mannerisms, is so disingenuous. There is not a real bone in this woman's body. There's just not. She's so disingenuous from how she speaks to how she does. And I think as it relates to her marriage, because it's given that she wears that big ring so that people can know that she and her man got money. They knew money. That's what it gives. Super new money, because she said her insurance company and all of that, all these things happened during COVID and not like very long ago, right? So they definitely give new money, because if you're gonna be doing that anyway and then you get offended that someone assumes that you're engaged while wearing only an engagement ring and holding an ugly dog, then what the hell, you can't get mad. So like the beef is stupid. I wish Kelly would mind her business. You too new and too little to be jumping in the middle and on the bandwagon of this. And allegedly her and Britt end up getting into it. And the way
Mm-hmm.
she been doing interviews in real time, it don't seem like they too cool. So I don't know. I feel like Kelly needs to mind her business. That's just my opinion.
She is giving that. She is
Yes.
giving that, but she's also giving we married and we got money and we gonna flex on you because it's all about pretentious and looks and Atlanta. And I just feel like for me, I could have did without that personally.
Hmm.
I could have did without that. If you was really coming on this show flaunting your wealth, you would do it in a way that Kelly does it, or you would do it in a way that Portia does it, or Shamia does it, where they're
Kelly walking around with a bodyguard. Shamia got elevators in her house and had the most beautiful sitting room in that first scene that you discussed earlier. Shamia has money. People who really have money, the true money, the lasting money, not the new money,
yes.
they're humble. They're humble. Brit is not humble worth a damn. And it's annoying.
And I feel like she doesn't have as much as the other ladies to be doing all this. That's how I feel. So for me, she just it's a lost cause for her. I just don't see it for her. So I'm just going to,
It's like, Brit, you got what you want. You got the Queen Kenya out. But even once people get over this, I hope that this girl sees you just not that likable.
yeah,
You could buy titties, but not a personality, girl. I'm sorry.
damn.
What? Bro.
Okay. So we move on, y'all. We have a scene with Angela and her daughter. And Angela is talking with her daughter about some family issues. From what we understand, that the daughter recently had an outburst with her grandmother and her aunt. And the grandmother was supposed to meet up with them to talk about this, but she did not show. And so Angela's getting the daughter's point of view. And the daughter said, look, I asked to borrow the car that you bought her, which normally is never an issue. But at this moment, because of your sister, it became an issue because she wanted money. And the daughter says, I hate that you are providing a lifestyle for them both because it makes them feel entitled to attack me when they don't get what they need from you. And so Angela was like, oh no, that's unacceptable. Like, I will talk with them. And, you know, I just don't understand how that would happen. And then Angela goes into this whole, spiel about, her mom being bipolar. When she was a little girl, she was on medication. And then her mom became self-progressed, so now she doesn't take the medication anymore. And what it sounds like is that the mom just found, a way to cope better. Probably uses, some remedies and help, to help her with her mood swings. Because it's hard for me to believe somebody who was, dependent on that is like all of a sudden like, okay, it's no longer affecting. Because we look at Jennifer Lewis and we like, oh yeah, it's still there. Trust me, she still be having outbursts, and I'd be cracking up every time. So I, would love to see the dynamic with the mom just so I can observe it for myself personally, because I don't want to prejudge it too early, but it just seemed like there's something in the water that ain't clean. Then the daughter also mentioned, no, Angela also mentions that, her daughter got married a few months ago and it never told her until 2 weeks prior to this filming scene. Now, I can't imagine if I'm saying my child is my best friend and we've been through hell and back together. I can't imagine that that Angela did not know about this wedding. Now, it's one of two things, and I'm gonna get Mrs. Best's opinion on this. It's one of two things. It's either Angela makes everything about herself, so the daughter probably felt like if she told Angela she was getting married, it wouldn't be her moment, it would be her mama's moment to, have this glory, because getting married is such a profound and such a glorious occasion to where you want it to be about yourself and your mate, not so much about your mama and what she wants. So it gives me that Angela is self entitled, and that's why the daughter didn't say nothing, or the daughter has some inward of guilt because there was a story allegedly that the daughter married a woman. So I think there may have been some stigma around that too. I don't know. I think that may have just been a blog just saying that because it's alleged. I'm gonna say allegedly, but that's what I'm hearing around the streets is that the daughter married a woman. So I don't know what to believe, and I don't really care. But I just felt like the daughter probably didn't tell Angela because Angela gives me I'm Angela Oakley. My husband is Charles Oakley, and we are just fabulous. And we live this glorious life, and everyone's just centered around us. And, that's how she comes off. So I'm like, I probably wouldn't tell her either. Mrs. Bess, how do you feel about this?
Your kids is not your best friends. Your kids is not your friends. Your kids is your kids. You can have a great and close mother daughter relationship, but I think where a lot of people get it wrong is throwing that friend word around as it relates to family. They can be similar to your best friend because it's an expression, because you have fun with them, you enjoy them. But I think she used that term loosely. This is the part two of why I don't like Angela Oakley, and everyone needs to look past the Kenya and Brit BS because honestly, yeah, this lady is putting on the front for the camera. We been knew it. I've been pointing out all these weird things. I can tell y'all, as a married person, ain't no way me and my husband gonna separate because he gets put out of a basketball game. I promise you, there's no way that that would happen. So this lady's been telling all these little half truths. I think Angela is putting on for the camera, and I want her gone. Her daughter seemed hurt. For you to hear that your child was attacked in any way, and you was just like, well, you have to understand it's my mom. Why are you making it about you? Your job as her mom is to make her feel protected.
Because let me tell you, my mama, we would have left that coffee shop and drove over to the house. And my mom would have been like, what the fuck going on? That's exactly how my mom would have moved if it was me.
Listen, I am estranged from my mother, right? Lots of childhood abuse. I'm not getting to it on YouTube. However, comma, even through that, she has gone crazy for us. If she's even thought that we've been disrespected, bullied, any of that, she done pulled up to the school on the grass. Something wrong with her. So it's very strange. Like, no matter what dysfunction or family issues you have, for the most part, family protects each other, and it's not fair to her that she wasn't protected. As for your comment with her potentially marrying a woman, Angela does, especially being married to someone like Charles, they seem like the type to have strong opinions on things such as abortion and
Yes.
same sex marriages, transgender rights, and things of that nature. I've been sensing that from Charles. I think that's what she's so afraid of and why she's so fake. But, and then how she dismissed the girl at the end of it. Okay, so let's move past it. Okay, let's go.
That's what
It's
I'm saying.
like,
It's like she makes things so much about her. It's
it
like, it's
didn't
like,
look
girl,
like that little girl wanted to cry
she
when
did
she
want to
did
cry
that, because it's
because,
like,
like, how
really?
you gonna guilt me in my own happiness? Like, if I didn't tell you, I didn't. You know now. So what the hell is the big deal? And
Most
especially when
parents
she
would
has
ask for a wedding or ask what they did to make them feel not safe. Angela didn't care about none of that.
right. That's why I was like, okay, there's something wrong with this lady. Like, y'all, I get I'm like judging her harshly, but at the end of the day, there's something wrong with this lady because the fact that she made her daughter's pain of not telling her that she was married about her when it had nothing to do with you, it may have been like, you're not a safe space for your daughter, obviously. That's what
Hmm.
I'm looking at right now because you're making it about you and how you feel about your daughter not telling you something. That's not that big of a deal. That's
It's
not,
something going on in that family too,
yeah.
because the grandmother and the, was it the sister?
It was, yeah,
And
her
then,
aunt. Yeah, it was her. No,
like,
mhm.
I wish the fuck, and my siblings, y'all see my brother in the live the other day. I wish the fuck if I had a child, they would think they gonna talk to my child any kind of way. I'm gonna whoop you like we on the playground still. Ain't no way. Ain't
Especially
no
if I'm
way.
providing the lifestyle for you to you. I bought the house you in and the car you drive. No, 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 no. That's not gonna happen like that. That's
You
not gonna
treat
happen
my
like
daughter like me if she's my next of kin and you in this house that I purchased for you. Like the family, there's something that Angela's not telling us, but she wants to convince us her relationship is so great and show us the real estate. She doing everything she can but to show us her actual storyline because she clearly got a lot of issues.
she. Yeah, and it's very obvious. And I'm just like, okay, well, you just gonna, you know,
She
girl.
reminds me of that girl from Salt Lake City, the pathetic one. She wasn't a full cast member. I can't
Oh,
remember the look.
Brittany,
Yes, yes, the
Brittany.
one that looked like
Yes.
Elvis
Oh my
Presley
god.
with titties. That girl. She reminds me of her. Like she has horrible relationships with her kids and
Mm-hmm.
is so attached to a man and not focused on them. And Angela's kind of doing the same thing with Charles. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
just looking like, mm-mm, get it together.
Absolutely, I 100% agree. So the next thing we're gonna talk about is Brittany meets up with Portia. They go and have lunch, and Portia is telling her, like everyone else is telling her, what you did was wrong. Like regardless of like you and Kenya having y'all moment and it being whatever, it's over. You know, it wasn't right of you to outburst like that, talking about pistols and whips and all the things like that. You have to understand how that would make a person feel. It's like they don't want to be around you. They don't want to be there. Feel like you're unhinged and everything. So Portia kind of was in defense of Kenya, which once again I love to see. I love to see that Portia was standing on right because at that moment Britt was definitely wrong, and Kenya didn't deserve that. Kenya didn't deserve that at all. So I'm glad Portia definitely was standing on it and was like, "Look, this is what it is." And that was pretty much it. I didn't really care about what Britt was talking about because it was all bullshit at the end of the day. So I don't really care. Was there anything else you want to add before I move on?
No, sir.
Okay. So we didn't have this scene with Angela and Charles Oakley. I'm about sick of saying that name. I'm about sick already. And we only episode 5. I'm sick of saying that name. I'm sick of saying the name Oakley. I'm tired of Angela in this already. So Angela is getting ready for the event. She hasn't have her makeup on, which is a mistake. I'm telling you, Angela, don't do this no more because I didn't know what I was looking at and I didn't know who I was looking at.
No, she was all sorts of different colors. I'm like, wait, I
I'm
don't do
like,
the best makeup, but when I am contouring, it be the same color for the most part. She was three different tones. It was like when they show you the different types of soil, so you know which one is healthy. I just kidding. Robin and Juan will be like Angela and
Robin and Juan are worse than Angela and Charles. Because at least I can somewhat sense the love these two have for each other. With Robin and Juan, all I see is a man who is indebted to a woman because she saved his life. That's all I see when I look at them. I don't see love with them two. I don't. It wasn't just her, and that's why I don't know why she contours her nose. Then what was the point of the nose job? Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
her nose distracted me.
It's like it literally looks like a button. It's so like, ma'am, do you really needed to do that? Do y'all have any old pictures of Angela somewhere out there? Whoever watches me on YouTube, I'm about to put my Instagram.
I saw one on Instagram. I'm gonna find it and send it to you.
Yes, y'all send it. What did she look like before this nose job? And I'm gonna put it right here on the screen next time we recap this show. Because there's no way she, unless she broke her nose, there's no way she needed to do this. This is terrible.
Mel, what? Not the daughter got the original nose.
Mel, you finna be with Naya on timeout. You finna be on night. Yeah, y'all better stop doing this. I don't wear makeup. I would not have done what she did. I don't understand it. Like when I was looking at Angela, I said, "Oh no, girl, you need to make sure you have your makeup on. Like she needs that makeup. I'm sorry, and I hate to say a woman needs makeup. I do. I hate to say that, like, because that's not right. But at the end of the day, I don't know what else to say because when I looked at her, I was like, oh my god. And then you could tell she uses some type of skin lightening too because that's not her original color. That's not. So, oh gosh. Her nose. Okay, so her nose looks okay. Okay, I got you. I got you. So she tells Charles that he needs to come with her, and Charles ain't trying to come. Like ain't no other men finna be there, so why should he be there? And I'm looking at him like, okay, Charles, whatever. And so
No, I agree with that. Like, just because you married don't mean you got to go driving, like, just dragging that Negro everywhere with you.
you
That's
have
a
to
healthy
understand this is
marriage.
her first time.
Separate.
She do
She's
look, Dr. Jen. Come on, she do look. Y'all not gonna act like y'all don't feel like that lady is Mary Cosby and us in front of our eyes right now. Y'all not gonna act like that.
oh
I'm gonna say
Jesus.
Mary Cosby season 1. She is definitely doing something with that skin because that is not her original skin tone. You cannot tell me that's her original skin tone. But anyways, so Charles, she brings up the tea that Portia has. She goes, Portia says she has some tea about you, and he's like, oh no, hell no, tell Portia no, she can't have nothing on me. I don't play that. I don't play that. You better tell Portia she better be cool. You better tell Portia. And I'm looking at him like, his dog will holler anytime. Because if you didn't have shit out there, it wouldn't bother you. Probably would just laugh at the shit. Because what would she have on you, sir? And she didn't even say it like that, Angela. If you go back and watch the scene, she did not say it. She says, I heard, because there is, when you Google his name, there is shit about him. The fuck? You even said it out your own damn mouth. Then that's what she could have been talking about. Oh, they annoy me already. Like, they annoy me. So they go down there and they eat. What else they talk about? That shit done got me mad. Um, Probably trying to get with Portia. It wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me. Portia ain't beneath it, so it wouldn't surprise me. Charles may be dry and grumpy, but his brother looks like he can cook some.
right. I be looking at the food and
It
every
don't be bad.
episode. I would love to just eat. Like, I would put up with the nose from my plate. I'm serious, James.
Not put up with the nose for
Your
the
thing
nose.
just probably winking at you while you chewing.
Mm,
What? Okay, I'm gonna be good. I'll
no,
behave.
because you just put. I feel like she can close her nostrils.
What? What?
I do. I feel like she can close her nostrils. I feel like there's like a plug in there somewhere that
Like a little
automatic.
flutter at the
Yeah, I
nostril to
feel
make them
like
move. I'm telling
I
you,
feel like she can like
winks.
I feel like she can like close them where she can hold her breath and no water get in. Like I do. I feel like that. I do. Every time I look at her nose, because it literally there is no nostril where she can breathe. It's literally two tiny little pinholes, and it's like I cannot with her. So I feel like she can close them. I do. I feel like she could like literally unfold them. No, no, y'all stop playing. Like that. That's I'm being
Listen,
serious.
all due respect though, even with the winking nose, I will deal with that for a plate
I,
because episode after episode, these people are eating well.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Like that, I pray that it continues to go well. I pray they continue to eat. But I can't be around. And Angela's somebody I can't be around because she would tell me some shit one minute and then lie and say some the same shit a different minute, and then you like that ain't the same shit you just told me. Where is it? And then she goes, "I'm Angela Oakley," so I could say what, and I'm just like, okay, I'm done. Because that is exactly how she is. Anytime you call her about something, she goes, "You don't know who I am. I'm Angela Oakley," and that's how she. I'm just like, girl, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day,
What is this referring to yourself? And like, you always have to say your name and you add emphasis on
yes.
the Oakley. I said it episode one when we, or whenever we met Angela, I said it. This is a woman who has let her marriage and her man literally take over herself. Like she is entirely lost. She's just doing everything to get approval from this man down to the real estate and this raggedy show. She's miserable, I think is.
Portia better not take any points from Giselle Bryant asking about someone about kids outside of their marriage. And I feel like if the shoe fit, why not? I feel like if the shoe fit, why not? I feel like if we talk about when Giselle did that to Monique, I feel like the shoe didn't fit. I feel like she was just trying to pry on that lady just to make it something out of nothing. Because I never saw it like, but that's two different things. I feel like the shit about Charles is true. I couldn't look her in the face because why did you do that to your nose? I'm trying to tell you, it's a situation. But we're gonna move on. So it's the day of Kenya's event. We have Kelly going in her sprinter because Kelly got to flaunt that wealth. She really do. Chicken and waffles is paying big bucks these days. So she is up there. She's calling Britt. She goes, "Hey Britt, we coming. I'm on my way to come get you and everything. You ready?" She goes, "Yeah. I'm happy to be going and thank you for helping me. With the situation." She goes, "Yeah, I got you, girl." And so Cynthia gets to the event first, and she's saying how she's so proud of Kenya. And, she brings up the Bailey agency situation, how her and Kenya at first didn't see eye to eye, but now she loves Kenya and she's so proud of her. Shamia gets there and, they're talking. And, Cynthia hasn't been around. Cynthia wasn't at that dinner, so she don't know what's going on. And Kenya arrives, and Kenya saying that this is a moment for her daughter. She wants to teach her daughter that you can be a strong entrepreneur, which is beautiful. I do love that about Kenya. So everyone pretty much gets there, with the exception of Kelly and Britt. They're not there yet. And when everyone's talking, Cynthia's like, "Catch me up. What happened?" Like, and she goes, "Well, you missed the whole situation between Britt and Kenya. They had gotten into it at the event." She goes, "Wait, I missed that." She goes, "Yeah, you missed that." And so Cynthia's like, "What about you and Drew?" She goes, "Oh, you didn't miss that. That didn't happen." She goes, "Oh, come on now." And I'm like, Lord Jesus, I forgot Portia and Drew was even beefing. I said, God damn. Now I got to talk about this shit. So,
Portia has to have a beef with Drew because if she doesn't, she has nothing to talk about because at the time of filming, they were in court.
hmm Dr. Jen, I'm going to talk about this in a minute because I feel like this is Kenya's MO because we've seen Kenya do this before. And I'm going to bring up that exact instance in just a second. So, Kenya has her little fashion show. It was given very much hair show, the movie with Monique 2004, instead of the fashion show she was talking about. I feel like she was in that movie too. I just don't remember. Um, Because yeah, and that's exactly that, Jim. We don't care about Drew and Portia. We don't because I feel like it's bullshit. I do. I feel like it's bullshit. I see Portia commenting on the post on Instagram and refer to Dennis and Drew and all that music and shit. Portia ain't tripping about this shit. She thought, and I think they got past it because she realized Drew really ain't trying to get with Dennis. Ain't nobody trying to get with Dennis. Portia, you good. But I would hate for Dennis to get a new woman or man. I would hate that because Portia gonna make it hell for them. She really is. That's exactly what that hair show that show that Kenya was doing. That's exactly what that was given. But so they Kenya makes the winner announcement. Everything is good. So Kelly and Britt show up, and Kenya immediately gives Britt the side eye, like, "Why is she here?" And the flowers are given and everything like that, and Britt feels unwelcomed and was like, okay, well, I'm going to leave because I don't want to be ignored by her. I don't want to because by this time, King is paying her debts. She's not saying nothing to her. She has not escorted. I think did she escort her out? I don't remember.
No, she just literally acted as if she did not exist.
I
But
didn't
you
see Miss
know,
J, but I did
Brit,
see Miss Lawrence.
if Brit can't be the center of attention, if you peep even outside of this, she always leaves.
If you're talking about Miss J, I'm thinking you're talking about. I did see Miss Lawrence. I don't know who Miss J is, but I did see Miss Lawrence. Blast from the past. Great. I'm glad that they had that little moment. I'm not really. Yeah, that wasn't. And I love Lawrence. Don't get me wrong; he was funny when he was on Real Housewives of Atlanta when he was with Sheree and all them. But that wasn't like a oh my god moment because they didn't really give him much. They didn't really give Miss Lawrence much, and I felt like, well, damn, okay, that's why I'm not going to really talk about too much. This shit with Britt and Kenya was way more in place. Angela looks horrible without makeup. With the girl, what I tell you, Angela, she looked horrible at this event. The wig was too much. The makeup was not enough, and the dress was ugly. And it was like, girl, come on now.
Is that a bitch stay winning? Did you change your name?
It looked like her. A
It
bitch
looked
like that
just.
you.
I know the pretty face.
I do too. That's what I was looking
I
at. I was
remember
like,
her.
oh, somebody new. But then I was like, no, she looked familiar. She looked very familiar.
I like that. She said it's my opinion.
Donkey is feeling froggy and wants to leap. It will be leaping out of the emergency room because she got a new bow in the ass. Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, okay. Oh snap. Okay. She didn't change it. You gonna still be a bitch they went it to me. I hope you don't mind, my love, because I know what you look like and I know that name. I still will try, girl. It's my opinion when I see it up on here, but you still bitch they went it to me. Okay, I got you, baby. I got you. So Kenya decides to make this moment to expose Brittany. Everyone's confused. Oh, wait a minute. Let me before I get there. Let me talk about Drew and Portia real quick because I forgot about. See how quickly I forget about Drew and Portia because I really don't care. But Drew tries to talk to Portia about, where they stand. Is everything good between them? If not, how can they move forward and everything? And Portia is still standing on, what you did. You did not communicate with me when it came to working with Dennis, and you noticed all the situation. You did not come to. And Drew's like, Portia, I did talk to you. And I said, Drew, when did you talk to Portia? I hate to defend Portia, but when did you talk to Portia, Drew? Because you said in the text messages, you said, Portia, I need to talk to you about something. Portia, we need to talk. You didn't say what y'all needed to talk about. Now, come on, Drew. We're not going to have this line for you. Like, I'm not going to be, Drew. I'm telling you now. Stop all this lying. Because you know damn well you ain't talk to no damn Portia about no damn Dennis. So, come on. We're not going to do this. And once again, and I don't know how many times I got to say, I saw Cynthia on Watch What Happens Live saying them baby daddies hit differently. They shouldn't. They shouldn't. They shouldn't hit differently at all, especially if it's about business. And I told y'all my stance on it. I don't feel like Drew owed Portia anything. I don't feel like that at all. However, because they're on the show together and they work together, maybe a courtesy call should have been given to Portia. Maybe. I don't feel that same way. I feel like as long as it's business, if I'm not with that person no more, I don't care. Make the money.
Drew keeps saying that she did give her a phone call too. It's just Portia talks so loud that people keep forgetting it. It seemed to be the one receipt she was able to provide.
And this is my thing. And I think that's why I don't feel the way towards it. Because this coming from Portia is rich. It really is. This coming from Portia is rich. And that's what I'm saying. Portia by Drew by. I don't care about this because this is stupid. At the end of the day, Drew, you got your album. Portia, you get your. Dennis, that's what he's supposed to do. What the fuck is the problem? Yeah. But anyways, let's get back to Kenya. Now that we didn't got that out the way. Unless Mrs. Best has something she wanted to say about the Drew and Portia.
I could give a flying fuck.
Okay, so we can move on. So Kenya was like, look, I'm here because somebody tried to try me and my life and my livelihood, and her name is Britt Eady. So I had my investigators do a background check on this heifer to see what's going on. And look at what they got. So she pulls out one poster board, Britt, before she got her nose job and the fillers and everything. She goes, look, that's her. That's her right there. That's her right here. And then I got another poster. I forgot what this poster of her was about, but because they kept blurring it out. So we don't know what the second one was. So she was like, you know what? You see this fraudulent bitch? Do you see her? And then the third one is the killer. And she pulls up the third one, which is what the blogs were saying that it was a poster of her giving fellatio. And that's what she said. Who is this hoe? You see? You see? And she tapping on the cardboard hella hard and shit. And everyone's all like, oh my gosh, she did not do all of that. She did not do all of this. Like, I know that that's too far. Everyone's saying Kenya went way too far with this. And I agree, y'all. I'm sorry. I agree. When you come for Kenya, because let me tell y'all, Kenya's done this before on this show. And if y'all don't know what I'm talking about, it was about season 11 ish, season 10, season 11 ish, where Tanya Sams, when she was on the show as a friend of, exposed that Kenya was wearing a wig when they were in Canada, and she asked Tanya to bring the wig back to the States with her. So Tanya was being messy and showed Marlo, Candy, and Portia the wig. And Marlo, of course, made it funny. She goes, I told y'all she'd be wearing wigs. I told y'all. And then Marlo put the wig on her head. And I remember it was such a funny scene. So Kenya felt slighted and felt embarrassed. So she brings Tanya, Eva, Cynthia out to lunch, and she invites the cookie lady who told Kenya and Cynthia that she was talking to Paul behind Tanya's back. And I thought that was fucked up because when you heard the cookie lady say her story, it wasn't nothing. It was nothing. Literally, they had a conversation at a bar. I'm not going to get mad about that. So it was like, what is that? Like, Kenya was trying to put egg on her face the same way she did with Britt. She felt slighted by Britt, so she was going to go all the way to hell and expose whatever she needed to expose. Now, from what I understand, a lot of people are saying on the blogs that that shit is not Britt and that Kenya made this up. I don't know what's true. I don't really care that much. But I feel like Kenya went too far, even still, to even put that out there about that lady. And so Portia, Shamia, and Kelly all walk out. Kelly said, who wasn't a hoe at one point in their life? Like, that shit is stupid. And she meets up with Britt. She didn't tell Britt right then and there what's going on up in there because Britt was just standing outside. So I'm assuming when she got in the car with Britt, she told her what happened. But Portia was like, look, I can't be a part of this. I can't do it. I cannot, And yeah, and like Cynthia said, Kenya, that was low. Like, you're better than that. Like, I can't believe you did that. Like, girl, I'm good. I got to go. And she goes, I'm proud of you, but still, that was wrong. And it was wrong, y'all. I'm sorry. She took that way too far. Like, I get Britt had no argument. I get what Britt did was crazy. But at the end of the day, Kenya, you didn't have to go do all of that. That was too much at your business event of all places. Like, this is where you're complaining about you spending Brooklyn's college fund on, the renovations and, to build this business. You really thought that that was a good idea for you to expose this lady at your event like this? You really thought that through and thought this was the moment to do that? Damn. Okay. I hope this business, stands tall. I really do. I hope you got Team Twirls coming up in there every day, getting a press and curl and a bump. I'm praying that that's what's happening because that was not a good look. That is not a that is not a good look. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about that?
Um, I'd like to say that Kenya conducted the background check that Bravo, NBC, Universal should have conducted, because some of the stuff that she did pull up on the girl was kind of like concerning. I felt like maybe the first two slides were okay because one was a mug shot and another was like the plastic surgery Brits had. That stuff anybody could Google and place together, right? But if the one that they had to blur out, I believe it was her giving head or whatever the hell. You don't need to do that in front of a bunch of people. It was definitely hard to watch and cringeworthy. It definitely was because the girl threatened you. If Kenya really wanted to get back at that girl, because you could tell she was really bothered and genuinely offended, right? Usually Kenya just does shady little things, throws shade, but this time she did seem like genuinely and personally offended, which tells me there may be more that we did not see at that dinner where Britt was threatening her with whips and pistols. And while what Britt did was not right, it's not thoroughly a fireable offense because there weren't any actual whips and pistols that were pulled out. However, Kenya could have gotten get back by going to production and being like, I want her suspended or fired or I'm a walk, and they probably would have sided with her. But to go and do this and then at your own event, you overshadow yourself, you're dimming your own light. And I don't like that. If you need to promo a business and it's that important to you, then you should want nothing negative attached to it. Shouldn't want anything negative attached to it. So it was weird that she chose to do this at her event. But only the last picture to me was the one that she should not have showed. The others, it was like, okay, but it's just weird that you do that at your own event. You should be all about promoting your hair care line, your business, your goals, reminding people of your daughter, your independence, like not ruining it with anger to embarrass somebody that realistically you probably could have got suspended or fired on your own. So it's odd, but what happened happened. So hey, nothing we can do.
Right, because yeah, basically Bravo put out a statement saying that they have ceased all filming with Kenya for the rest of the season. So there we have it there. But I just felt like it was such a bad move and poor judgment on Kenya's side
Hmm.
because I felt like even still, like someone said it. Who was it that said that she should have got the protection order if she felt threatened like that? I don't know who put it up there. Whoever did, thank you for putting that up there because she should have. She should have gotten a protective order. If you felt that danger, like endangered from that person, then you should have gotten a protective order because you would have had the evidence. She did say that out loud. She did make it seem like she was threatening you or gesturing you in a way where your safety could have been threatened. So you should have did that. But to do this, you made yourself look even more vile than Brit Eady did.
You guys, her anger truly blinded her because she entirely forgot about her business and was just focused on getting revenge. And that you're not gonna succeed. And that's where Kenya needs to do some work because season after season, she always goes lower than she needs to go. I think this time it was just strange how she showed how triggered by this whole ordeal. It was very, very strange. So I definitely think the time away from the show will be good for Kenya. And it looks like maybe she needs to rely on other income outside of this show. Because you shouldn't be having to put your all into a damn spa when you've been on television for years and years and years.
Hmm. Yeah, the last picture, everybody's reaction was like, "Wow, like that is crazy." Credit said Kenya is threatening to buy out and send a pregnant woman to the ER or even knock out the pregnant woman's teeth. Brit is a mini Kenyan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't think Portia's assessment was wrong. I don't, because Portia said that. Portia said that that Brit reminds her of Kenya, and I think Kenya feels disrespected by that comment. But see, I just feel like she is Kenya.
Because Kenya's mad about a damn threat, but then you also have to think about the season with Kim Fields.
Mm-hmm.
The way she rocked her with the chair. So it's like you actually did get and interrupt somebody's personal space. So it's a weird thing, but I think that it will definitely be a lesson for her to learn.
No, I 100% agree with you. I do. I 100% agree with that. And I just feel like, yeah, this is going to teach you. But I'm just saying, I'm hoping that that business does turn a profit. I really do. Because, ma'am, this was not the move. Like, you did some dangerous shit. I'm really disappointed in Kenya. We are the same age, and I would never do that ish like that. I don't think anybody, regardless of age, would have went that far if they're serious about their business. Like, if they really say, like,
Yeah.
not only are you being you're opening your business, but you're also at your other employment, which is being on the show, being filmed. So this is your bread and butter that you're putting out there. And you just said the previous episode that you need this to work. So if you needed this to work, why would you then do something that you knew could have had
He
very
lacks impulse control. That's why I say, like, my
Mhm.
professional opinion watching that. Something triggered Kenya. Something really, really triggered her. And the fact that she moved off of impulse and it entirely blinded her discernment is wild. So she definitely needs to step away because she could have smacked the girl. Either way, anything she would have reacted to with this wouldn't have been good. And it's like all of that for a threat. You could have ignored this girl's existence season after season.
you could have, or you could have found a way to get her out
She
because she. Go ahead.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say she could have found a way to get her out because the girl's not likable. So you could have found a
Or
way to get her out.
embarrass her by calling security to escort her out of your event. You could have done like you did with Marlo and just got your bullhorn and hollered some crazy stuff about her. But the pictures were a little bit much. It was just a lot. It was a lot.
Male MIC reviews. It is crazy you said that because yes, I 100% agree with this. I feel like they both are making decisions that are going to strongly impact their little girl. And she doesn't deserve this. She doesn't deserve to be in the crossfires of you and your husband's craziness business decisions and the fact that you just completely thrown out your stability of income like that. Like I just don't understand Kenya. I don't. And I don't have a problem with Kenya. There's seasons I like her, there's seasons I don't like her. This is one of the seasons where I don't like her because I feel like at the end of the day, I was on your side with this. If y'all watched my last recap, I was on Kenya's side because I said, okay, so maybe not. This might vindicate Kenya, and a lot of people we were all on this same page. We're like, yeah, what Brit did was kind of fucked up. So whatever Kenya did, maybe well deserved. But then when you really think of what Kenya actually did, and when you actually look at the parameters of what she was willing to do to make this moment, it was like, no, that didn't land well at all, Kenya. That had
Bravo needs to nip it in the bud. Like y'all remember back in the day on shows like The Real World and things on MTV, if people even pushed you, they was sent the fuck home. Bravo needs to get like some rule book or something that they train their producers on so that when women make threats to each other like that, you got to go. Like they're going to housewives are going to keep acting this way. Like people are saying Britney is a mini Kenya and all this crazy stuff. We're going to keep getting housewives that act a fool until the people working behind the camera hold them accountable cuz we can only do so much as the audience. So I kind of low key blame the network still for all of this. I mean, yes, Kenya did something bad, but look at the hell she's been allowed to get with. She probably thought she could get away with it also.
I don't even know she thought she was going to get away with it. I thought that I think Kenya really did think that what she did was not a big deal. I really think she thought she was going to be okay, and what Britt did was going to vindicate her based on how it would play out. But at the same time, I really feel like someone said it gives like yeah, that. So Nas giving pimp hope. I must have been really bad that people actually left the event, not just the cast, but everybody was cyber. I said, yeah, a lot of people left that event saying Kenya, like the blogs that came out about this, like it was going to be hard for me to see Kenya's point of view. Like the things that came out about this, it was going to be hard for us to see that Kenya was correct in her response to this. Mr. Jackson almost getting whacked with the purse was my favorite Kenya season. Um, you know what? My favorite Kenya season was when she got married, which was, I believe, season 10. I believe, when she first married Mark. I liked her that season. That was the only season where she actually was lighthearted, fun, soft. Like you could tell that marriage really did something to her. She just married the wrong man. So I think if she does get it right her next go around, we're gonna see a great Kenya. I do. I really feel like that. Let me see. The producer putting Bravo on blast a bit with the abuse, but it's production crew, not talent. Yeah, I remember that,
Yeah.
that one producer that spoke out about Garcelle. Um,
That's the same one. He's speaking out about not just her, but all of the other housewives.
mhm.
Potomac, Beverly Hills. Sounds like he dealt with Atlanta also. He had a lot to say that showed and proved. Like, that's my point. Like, it's still their employer. And your employer is supposed to have you working in conditions that make sense. Instead, they let these women threaten each other, kick each other. We done seen Cynthia kick Cynthia from her to the damn end of the boat. Like, we see all this craziness. And that is the truth, Mel. They used to have zero tolerance for violence, and now
Mhm.
it's like it's just okay. I'll be damned. If being on TV mean I gotta be fighting bitches and getting threatened, that ain't gonna work. That's not gonna work. But you can just see the greed. Like, these people will do anything for the money that Bravo is paying, and Bravo knows it, and that's the dangerous part.
Yes, and I agree with that. I feel like, to me, we need to get to a point on these shows where I don't mind the back and forth shade. I don't mind the back and forth arguments. I don't even mind, you know, the back and forth setups of, someone being caught off guard. But when we talk about, physically fighting and exposing, court documents or revenge P and all that kind of stuff, that's when we take it too far. Because
Yeah.
nothing should be of a person to where you're bringing up something that someone is trying to move forward from. Because I'm sure Brit is trying to move past that situation of her life, whatever it was, of her being a video vixen as a teenager, which Kenya probably could get in trouble for that shit. Now that I'm thinking about it.
Now, even though what Kenya did is wrong, I don't think Brit's moved past shit. I think she has dated some rich men back to back. It's worked out in her favor. She said herself she sold her little insurance agency, so she truly is just a housewife. But I don't get the energy that this is a woman who's willing to work on herself. She can't even speak and be real for a slight half of a millisecond.
Mm,
So she didn't deserve what she got. But at the same time, I'm like, the same way Kenya was her own karma. Now people aren't receiving Brit well when she finally got the fame and money she want. Maybe that's her karma. Both of them are just kind of like messed up individuals, in my opinion. They are very similar.
child, that looked like Dr. Jen Bunny. I'm not even gonna tell you what that looked like to me, because I feel like if they were in private, that was, you know, going to go that direction versus the direction it went in. That's what that looks like to me. I'm just saying, because that was way too like prison. I see it, Apollo. Urges, urges. I'm just saying that just looked way too like intimate to me. I'm sorry, it did. And if I was Brandon, I'd be way past offended. But okay, we moving on, y'all. So that was pretty much the episode. I'm not, I hate to say that I'm glad Bravo made the decision to suspend Kenya. I wish they would have suspended Brit too. I would love to have seen the HR documentation that was conducted on both of them to see what was uncovered, because there was a investigation that happened with the both of them. And I would love to get that exposed at the reunion. I want y'all to violate the orders of code of conduct and read exactly what HR conducted. I know we can't do that legally, but if you can get Brit and Kenya to sign consent forms, I would love to see what y'all uncovered. Just out of curiosity. I'm just saying. So, you know, but that was pretty much it. Wait, Peter put hands on him too. I didn't see Peter put hands on. I have to go back and rewatch. I watched that from time to time, that pajama party, because it was such great TV at that time that I watch it every now and then just to see Nene Sachet in that pajama set walk back and forth in that room. I just love looking at that. But it's giving okay, y'all. We got to go, y'all. Married to Medicine is next. We got to get them out the way. I appreciate everybody. Thank you for being here. We have fun. Let me know of your opinions as well. Do you think Kenya was wrong 100%? Do you think Britt was still wrong 100% and that vindicated Kenya? Or do you think Kenya took it too far? Let me know your opinions. I want to know. Because right now I'm trying to wrap my mind around it still, but I still, in my opinion, think Kenya took it too far because that did not need to happen. But I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. What are we saying in the comments? What are we waiting on, Shani? What's going on? We good? Oh, girl, I thought something happened. Okay. All right. Well, I will see you guys on my next recap. Thank you guys for being here. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out, y'all. Bye-bye.